Welcome back to Raw 12:51 AM and welcome back to the Warwick F1 show. We are going to be looking at the Spanish Grand Prix this week, a race that was weird in that it was probably fairly entertaining, but it wasn't like notably entertaining. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. It's an NPC race.
It was very it was very much like Miami in that there were a load of overtakes and they were obviously entertaining, but there wasn't that much like standout events. Yeah. It was very standard.
Yeah.
As you can hear, I am here with Chinmay. Unfortunately, Will cannot join us this week, so we're back to the old duo.
Yeah.
And Max Verstappen taking his 5th win of the season.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
I'm definitely not checking it out right now. But
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 wins this season.
We've had some races. I'm thinking 8 because obviously Imola got cancelled.
First Grand Slam of the season.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it won't be his last Grand Slam of the season.
No.
Behind him, the Mercedes. I was a week early on saying the Mercedes upgrades will work because they definitely, at least so far, they look like they've been putting in very good performances. Lewis Hamilton qualifying 5th, starting 4th and finishing 2nd. George Russell climbing from, was it 12th to finish 3rd?
Yes, 12th to 3rd.
Yeah, and ahead of Sergio Perez, who again had a bit of a shocker in qualifying, only qualifying 11th, climbing up to 4th place, and then was followed by Carlos Sainz, dropping from 2nd to 5th. And I know you said you were going to do this bit, so I'm going to hand over to you from here.
No, it's fine.
Well, then it was the Aston Martins.
We had so Lance Stroll actually having his first decent race in a little while.
Probably since Australia.
He qualified 6th. Obviously, he went up to 5th because of Gasly's penalty. And he finished 6th as well. Alonso getting a 7th, a bit of an off weekend for him.
I mean, definitely could have overtaken Stroll if he felt like it.
Yeah, 100%.
He was just on the back of him was like, guys, don't worry about it. I've given up with this weekend.
He is so chill this season. My love for Alonso has just gone through the roof this year. But
it's like what happened to Alonso of the past? Why is he suddenly so chill?
He's suddenly so chill. He's a nice god all of a sudden, loving life. Where is the chaotic Fernando Alonso that just burned every single bridge that he came across?
It's not even that. It's just they seem to get on so well as teammates.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso seem so chill. I
mean, I think maybe the money is coming.
Oh, probably.
There's probably a bit of money that's coming through.
I can't say that wouldn't help. So who was 8th?
Ocon. So we had Ocon coming off a fantastic Monaco podium. Mm-hmm. He qualified 7th.
Apparently, he had an issue in qualifying, as far as I read.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
I don't know, to be honest, but I don't know. But yeah, he got 8th. Guan Yu Zhou getting a rare points finish for Alfa Romeo.
Very good performance.
Yeah, he started 13th, finished 9th. But I mean, he actually finished 10th. But as I go on reason, there was a penalty. Guan Yu Zhou, Pierre Gasly finishing 10th, despite. He started from 10th, he qualified 4th after a really good qualifying because he impeded Carlos Sainz and Verstappen.
So yeah, 2 separate 3-place grid drops.
Yeah, and then one of my favourite moments of the weekend was just Fernando Alonso just casually snitching on Gasly.
It's Alonso.
Yeah, because he was just behind and he saw the whole thing as Gasly should get a penalty and everything. It's quite funny. And then, Charles Leclerc narrowly missing out on the points at 11th after, let's be honest, a weekend to forget completely.
His must be his worst F1 weekend, and I can't think of the last
I think this is comfortably his worst one. Probably comparable to 2019 Monaco, but
although every time you went on board his car, he was fighting that. There must have been an issue. I mean, there had to have been an issue with it. It was that long right-hander just before the 2 quick turns that obviously replaced the chicane. Every time they went on board there, he was fighting oversteer and understeer and all sorts going through there. That I think must have had an issue.
Yeah, he did not seem comfortable with the car at all. I mean, he had a shock Q1 elimination,
Especially when
qualified 19th.
Especially when Sainz qualified second.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Q1 especially had one mega track evolution, which kind of did contribute to that as well. Whereas because Lando Norris, I think it was Lando Norris even topped Q1 towards the end, and then I
think Lewis,
and then Lewis ended up.
But the thing I was watching is even Max Verstappen, obviously it's Q1, and but he's still in the Red Bull, and he dropped to 9th by the end of that session. Not at risk, let's be honest. But
Perez was 15th.
Yeah,
he was very, very close.
Well, it was at the point where either Leclerc or Perez was going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
So he was 11th.
Yep. And then Yuki Tsunoda was...
Justice for Yuki.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he did get a 5-second penalty.
I'm going to have a mild rant here, but what is he meant to... It's a fairly standard defensive move.
I know.
Especially when you compare it to Verstappen and Sainz at the start. Sainz is far further alongside than Guan Yu Zhou is. Verstappen does his tried and tested dive bomb turn 1 at Spain that he tried in 2021.
Yeah.
No, we're not going back to there, but I understand it is lap 1, but I don't get what Tsunoda's meant to do.
No, Tsunoda was on the racing line as well, wasn't he?
It's robust defending. Absolutely.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that.
If he does it 2 or 3 times, I can kind of get maybe you'd penalise him, but once.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a very harsh penalty.
Would you not? I'd just given him a warning.
Yeah, I think this weekend's been a pretty big weekend of harsh penalties, but it is what it is.
What other harsh penalties have there been?
I've mainly talked about the FA Cup. But
I don't want to talk about the FA Cup. This is not a football podcast, but I have views on my team, or specifically 13. Is that why you're wearing that? He's wearing a Liverpool shirt. Obviously, you can't see it. Is that why you're wearing it? To mock me?
No. I got this as another birthday present. So
fair. I got this as a birthday present as well. It's my New York Giants hoodie.
Yeah.
It's very blue.
Well, I want to give us a birthday gift, but yeah.
Okay, back to the F1.
Back to F1. But yeah, he did end up finishing 12th, and did you see the pictures that you get sent out on Twitter? That's
so sad.
It was so oh yeah, and also, have you seen a picture of him standing next to
I have. How that is not
5'2" versus 7'3".
That is not edited. I have
that
no
is not
clue.
That was hilarious.
So small.
Just stupidest thing ever.
I'm assuming it's a basketball player.
I don't know who it was exactly, but 7'3".
7'3". So he's what?
5'2" compared to 7'3".
So he's over 2 foot taller than you.
Yeah, he literally looks half the size. Literally. Oh.
I don't think the angles have done him much justice.
No, the angle does him a bit badly to be honest. But yeah.
So we had Yuki in 12th. Who was
Piastri or Oscar Pastry in 13th.
Oscar Pastry. I probably shouldn't. It's probably a bit disrespectful, but it's.
Yeah, it is.
Did you watch the McLaren tic-tac-toes that they did?
Yeah,
they're really fun. They're really fun. Yeah. I love those tic-tac-toe concepts.
Yeah, and see, because you see them in football all the time.
Yeah,
as well.
they do. The football ones, I'm actually not I thought I'd be better at them, but I'm really bad at them.
Yeah, the only one I got was the one. I think there was one I was watching where they're doing a Zlatan one because all 9 squads was Zlatan.
Yeah.
Well, speaking.
Yeah, Zlatan has retired. I love that guy. Again,
we're good. Wait, there is nothing to talk about this race.
We're filling time. Yeah.
We have nothing to talk about, so don't blame us.
So Oscar Piastri qualified 10th.
He was 10th. Yeah.
Just a fairly solid performance, I think.
I mean, the McLaren is just woeful with race pace, so I don't think there's much he could do about it.
It's just not. It's they qualify well. Well, they
qualified very well this time around. But yeah, there's just no pace in the McLaren.
As far as I can remember, De Vries was 14th.
Yes, very good.
Again, very NPC.
Yep, and then Nico Hülkenberg was 15th.
He was flying he was flying throughout practice.
Yeah, he was 7th, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and then second in FP 2 or 3,
something like that. Yeah, I think he was
Yeah, wait, I can check now. He was FP2.
FP2.
No, FP2 he was 3rd place.
It's like Latifi topping FP3 at Hungary vibes.
Yeah, that was
It's the greatest practice session of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Who was 16th?
Albon.
Albon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Williams.
Yeah,
did you see all the floor furore? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alliteration. That about how their floor's so flat. And I kind of, yeah. I felt bad because people were laughing at them, and I'm like, this team, like James Vowles has gone there and said they're building a car using chalk, basically, like chalkboards and things like that, and not even like CAD.
Yeah.
Like, and you look at that floor and you do realise why they're last.
Yeah.
And why they're the slowest car. But hopefully get some money in.
Yeah.
Get some expertise.
Yep.
And then they can develop their floor.
Yeah.
And not just rely on the Mercedes rocket ship that they have for the last... Oh, it's almost been 10 years of the hybrid era.
That is very true.
Oh, we're getting old.
Yeah.
Right. Albon.
And then probably the person who definitely has a great Sunday to forget, Lando Norris.
Qualified third.
Qualifying third, and then, I mean, it was an unfortunate
It wasn't
incident.
Anyone's fault.
Yeah, there were. You could
argue it's Verstappen's fault, and I think I will.
No, because obviously Lewis has just gone the inside. He's perfectly entitled to do that. Obviously, Norris trying to look for that extra space to try and squeeze his way around, and then obviously hits the front wing. Then it gets a 17-second pit stop, which is slow even for a front wing change.
A good front wing change is 10, 11?
About 11 seconds or so. But yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't like Verstappen checked up Sainz, who checked up Hamilton, and then Norris just wasn't.
It's just unfortunate. It's happened.
It's no one's fault.
Yeah,
like, it's as much as I would love to blame Verstappen. It's not Verstappen's fault. But yeah.
We got
third to 17th, a bit washed, not gonna lie.
Yeah. And especially with the form he was going through this weekend as well, because he was looking strong all weekend.
He was looking strong into Monaco as well.
Yeah.
And then got unlucky with obviously being blocked by LeClerc in the tunnel.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah.
18th was
K-Mag,
yeah. Very NBC.
Again, just nowhere. Same with Bottas, and
Bottas has been struggling recently.
He's been absolutely nowhere in this year.
It's a shame his slander name writes itself. I feel like every F1 driver has their own slander name these days. Didn't Piastri come up with his own one?
I think so. He did. Yeah.
It's like you're doing the job for them, man.
Yeah. Oh.
Who was last? Because all the drivers finished again, didn't they?
You can guess who came last.
Didn't realise Latifi'd rejoin the sport. Wait, who came? Oh, the American, Logan Sargent.
Yep.
Again, he's in the Williams. I don't think there's much we can.
And he's in a rookie, and he's just nowhere.
It's just that it's their development that they struggle with, I think, Williams.
Oh, big time. 100%.
Right. What do you want to talk about? Because this is about to be very rift, because there is not that much. Verstappen is incredible.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not felt at any point like he's on, like when Lewis was obviously dominating in like 2019, like early or mid 2010s. There was always that pressure from Nico Hülkenberg. Even 2019 and 2020, at some races, there was like Valtteri Bottas. Maybe less so in 2020, but
yeah, no, definitely. I'll definitely not say 2020.
Yeah, but even 2019, Ferrari was still up there at certain points. But now it's
every single freaking circuit.
He has no competition.
Literally none.
And that's both a credit to him. He is an incredible driver. As much as it's not. It doesn't pay me to say it.
No.
He's an incredible driver. His racecraft is the main thing I take issue with.
Yeah.
About Max Verstappen, but if you put him out front, he's going to win.
He's basically like every single great driver out there. You know, you go back to Senna, you go to Schumacher. They love racing people, but they cannot be raced.
Yes.
Yeah. Senna, Schumacher, Hamilton, everybody who's a great driver is like
I'd say less so Hamilton.
A bit less, but even Lewis was...
No, I think...
Especially when you go back to 2015, 2016, he was... We say a lot less now, but I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton is just as bad as the rest of them. They all are as bad, because
I think they're all quite bad. I think
even Seb back in the Red Bull days.
Well, Seb had 2017 as well, where he hit Lewis.
Yeah.
Seb even in the Red, I'm trying to remember back to the Red Bull days.
2010 mostly. This is, I would say, when there were moments when Mark Webber was faster than Vettel.
I think it just depends on when Vettel did it. He was in his, let's say 2010. Third full season in F1.
I think it was it was a third season. Because full season, because he debuted in 2007 was BMW Sauber.
Did he do all of the last, or did he just race one in 2007? I don't
think he didn't do a full season in 07. I know that for sure.
So let's say third season.
He was only a couple of races because he filled in for Kubica.
And then
2008 he won a Toro Rosso and obviously won in Monza that year as well.
Well, then Lewis's probably worst season for that sort of thing was 2011.
Yeah.
So that was
even to be fair, even 2007, obviously, because he was fighting Alonso.
Well, then they didn't collide much.
No, but it was quite nasty.
Fair.
I'm not talking about collisions and such. I'm just talking about the fact the general nastiness that big drivers get, because obviously, as a driver, your ego gets in the way. It's all, it gets very heated and everything. So it's absolutely natural for anyone, especially people, Alonso, Hamilton, Senna, Schumacher, Prost, Vettel, Verstappen's probably, especially nowadays. Yeah. They don't like being raced because obviously they want to be the quickest. That's what it is.
But Verstappen's out the front. He's in the best car.
Yeah. Have a guess how many seconds they get ahead of Hamilton?
I think I know this one. I think it was 18, 19, 20.
No.
What was it?
No, you're probably getting confused when they talk about the whole track limits.
Well, I swear, was it 24 by the end of it?
There was 24 seconds at the end. 24
What's the
seconds.
lowest? The lowest margin is obviously Australia, but that doesn't really count. What's the lowest margin? They've all been plus 20. Apart from Australia, but again.
So Verstappen was in Monaco was 27.9 seconds ahead of Alonso in Monaco. If I go, obviously, Imola doesn't exist.
Didn't happen.
Verstappen was 5 seconds ahead of Perez in Miami.
But how far ahead of the rest of the?
But then 26 seconds ahead of Alonso, who in third. If I go back to Baku, then. It was actually Sergio who won that race. He was 2 seconds ahead of Max, but Sergio was 21 seconds ahead of Leclerc.
21. I think they're all plus 20 as far as I can recall. And
obviously, yes. And obviously, Australia was not. With Saudi Arabia, Sergio finished 20 seconds ahead of Alonso, but was 5 seconds ahead of Max.
So 20. 20 seconds.
It was 20 seconds between the lead Red Bull and Alonso.
They've all been plus 20 except for Australia.
Yeah, and Bahrain is the worst one.
Oh, brilliant! The gap's grown.
Bahrain. I guess how many get. So Verstappen was just under 12 seconds ahead of Perez. Guess what the gap between Verstappen and Alonso was?
20. Wait, was it 19 or 18 or something? 21?
A lot more.
25? 30? More than 30? 35?
Bit more.
More than 30? Oh my god.
Verstappen was 38.637 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso in third.
Oh gosh. Wait, well, I think wasn't LeClerc running nearer to them and then he retired, as far as I can remember?
Yes, that is very true, but still.
Either way, 38 seconds is not ideal. No. Let's say. But no, Verstappen has, I think we can confidently say he's maybe won the title.
Yeah, I think the season's comfortably over now.
Yeah. Because the gap to Perez is 53 points?
Something like that, yeah. And then
it's only going to grow.
Yeah, it's 53, and then Red Bull Racing is leading the constructors by 135 points. And we're barely even halfway through the season.
We're on race 7 of 22 now.
Yes, we're barely halfway.
We're not even a third of the way.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
Well, this has been fun. When do you think so what's the gap? 53 now?
Yes.
So the gap's 53. Thing is, I don't think he'll win the title quite I wouldn't say he'll win the title quite as quickly as he did last season, just because there is Perez should be finishing second. And that is the problem that Sergio Perez has. Well, you look back to 2014 to 2016.
Yeah.
Those titles were so close because when one driver was finishing first, the other driver was finishing second. That's not happening with Sergio Perez. We haven't had that
since 2016, really. Well, I'm talking about the same team. Same team. Because obviously 2018 we were having Sebastian and Lewis. Because I think Seb was even leading in the summer break as well.
Yeah, I think it was 5-ish points. Yeah, I think he was leading into 2017 summer break.
I can't remember 2017 because I wasn't probably. I can't remember.
I think he was leading for more of 2017 because they just had the two shocker. I think it was three. It was Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan, I think. They had issues, and then the title just went, gone.
Yeah.
From them.
Yeah, because I think 2018, the end of the 2018 season was when Seb crashed in Germany.
Yeah.
That is, as a Seb fan, that's just heartbreaking.
As a Lewis fan, it was fine. No, but that is the thing. When Lewis and Nico were having their big rivalry, one of them was finishing first, one of them was finishing second, and it was only a 7-point swing. But now Perez isn't getting into Q2. No. He's not guaranteed Q3 anymore
in the last couple of races,
which is credit to the regulations, because you look at qualifying these days and it's by far the best part of the weekend, because let's ignore Max Verstappen for a second.
Yeah.
You cannot really tell who's gonna do well.
Yeah.
The teams with two drivers in Q3 were Alpine and McLaren somehow. Yeah. Not Red Bull, not Ferrari, not Mercedes.
Yeah.
It was Alpine and McLaren.
Aston Martin.
Oh, and Aston Martin. I wish I'd thought of it, but the last time neither Red Bull, all of Red Bull, Mercedes and Ferrari didn't have both cars in Q3 must be ages ago.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because
Because especially mine, they've been the dominant three teams.
I'm
since
disappointed
2014.
I didn't think of looking up that, because
Yeah. We definitely won't find out during the next break. But.
Yeah, I reckon someone's thought of that stat, or I'll just tweet the stats guy I follow.
Yeah,
just to find out. But no, but that is the thing. Now qualifying is so close, and when you do get the track evolution like we did in Spain, it provides some really entertaining final few minutes. Everyone has a shot at. Well, okay. Yeah. Everyone except the Williams, perhaps, because their car is very slow these days, and Verstappen's going to get pole, probably. But everyone else, it's all mixed up on where they can go. And if you do have maybe an issue, like Charles Leclerc had, then you're going to come 19th. But even if you don't have issues and you time it wrong, get the tyres mixed up, not get the temperature, you're going to go out in Q2 like we saw with Perez and Russell.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and also speaking of improved thing, and this is a thing especially for last weekend, the best decision ever did prove to be the best decision ever, removing that final chicane.
Oh, definitely.
From Spain. Oh man. It's just made all the difference with overtaking. The only thing is they need to reduce the DRS
absolutely.
rate. But,
overtaking was too easy, probably. Moves were being done way before the braking zone.
But the potential, but I think what this weekend has proved that there is potential for at least racing to go into turn one.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I think that has breathed a new lease of life into the circuit. I think it's one of those. It was one of those corners as well that wasn't quite. It's like poo on essentially. Notwithstanding maybe the W11, which that thing was upshifting in poo on. I love that car, but. It was one of those corners where it was so close to being full throttle, but it wasn't, and that meant that the drivers had to take it with a degree of skill, even in cars that do have very high downforce and are able to take corners exceptionally quickly.
Yeah, and
I think no one really had any issues with them removing the chicane. And
no, not a single complaint. The only thing is that that's the only place you can still overtake on the circuit. You can't.
I think that's just the circuit in general. But
Yeah.
I don't mind there only being one overtaking spot on a circuit. Like most circuits only have one over.
Well, some have like 2 or 3.
What circuit has the most overtaking spots? Like genuine. I'd say Britain has 3 and 4 if you're feeling brave.
Yeah.
Because it's got turn 1.
Yeah.
It's got the Wellington Straight.
Yeah.
It's got Copse. That's
Yep.
the brave one. And it's got, obviously, Stowe Corner.
Yeah.
So I'd say Britain, is that the most? 4?
Yeah, what's it? Britain? Yeah, Britain has a good one.
But even like we say Brazil is a really good track.
Brazil's
has
got 2, maybe 3.
Where's
Because I've seen people do overtakes in the 3rd sector as well.
2, maybe 3.
Because Japan's only 1.
Japan's got 2.
No, yeah, 2. Yeah, because people do make overtakes after 130R.
Yeah, I'd say most tracks have 2, as far as I can tell.
Qatar only has 1. I know that because there's literally 1 straight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Abu Dhabi, there's meant to be 2, but there's 1 maybe.
You could almost say Monaco has almost has 3, just because you've got to be really creative on where you pass.
Oh yeah.
So how many? So there were
22. You said
22 overtakes. I'm pretty sure there were like 4 different spots.
Yeah, because obviously
it was into turn 1.
You obviously got Sandoval.
Raskas.
Yes, Raskas.
Down the hill to the
tunnel.
Well, even the hairpin's one, but down the hill before the hairpin.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Mirabeau. Is that called Mirabeau?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Well, but then you got. I mean, but even just a bit before as well.
After the tunnel.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you just got to be creative in Monaco. Yeah.
I can't say Monaco.
Yeah.
Austria's got 2. I think what we've established, we can't go through every circuit.
Yeah.
But what we've established is every circuit's got 1, 2. Silverstone's probably the most with 4. We're probably going to get shouted at for forgetting an obvious one.
Yeah.
But no, I think
definitely
the decision to take away the chicane was the best one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right. Should we take a quick break and then we can come back and talk some of the teams, because first segment normally just focusing on the general race, not much to talk about there.
Well, we end up spending half for talking about football.
Yes, but we'll come back. We'll talk Mercedes. We'll talk Aston Martin, Ferrari, and all the other teams as well. Welcome back to the Warwick F1 show. Right, we're going to move on to talking, as we do, about the team. Starting off with I'd say confidently, the second best team of the weekend, and that is Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. Did I get it right?
Yes. Unlike Evo, we are better than
one of their drivers.
Yes.
But no, they so qualifying 4th. No, well, yeah, okay, let's say technically 4th and 12th.
Yeah.
But even the qualifying didn't come without a bit of drama. And Mercedes collisions or team collisions in Spain are not unknown, and they happened again.
Just the flashbacks to 2016.
Oh gosh. Thing is, I was watching. I'm going to bring it back, but I was watching the football, so I just turned it every time it was about to end. I turned it on, so I saw. I turned it off just before they did actually collide. Then I went on Twitter and I was like, oh my god, everyone was like, oh my god, the Mercedes have collided. I was like, what happened? And it's an interesting one. Would you blame anyone?
No, it was miscommunication.
Just miscommunication?
I think it was just a massive miscommunication.
Well, it's just Russell. So Russell was going pit lane, and then was like, nah. And then just like drove down the straight. I assume Lewis thought he was going to give him a tow, and then he wasn't.
Yeah,
I think it compromised both of their quality. Russell couldn't have another go at like another lap, because if you collide with someone, that throws you off your rhythm.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you're not going to put in as good of a lap time as you would have. And then Lewis's car was damaged.
Yeah.
So that probably compromised both of their qualifyings, but they made up for it during the race, didn't they?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, second and third finish. Well, it's basically the best result you can hope for in the current state of the season, with Max just being 40 seconds ahead of everybody. Pretty much, he was pretty much 40 seconds until he decided to pit for softs.
So, do you think they can? Well, I have two questions. Do you think they can get they've got P2, or can get, or maybe have already P2 in the constructors?
I don't see why they shouldn't. I don't see why they shouldn't get P2, because Ferrari are. We'll talk about Ferrari in a bit anyway, but for obviously for Ferrari being Ferrari, they're not. I don't think so. They'll make the progress needed to compete. And then Aston Martin, I'm not. Obviously, we don't know how good their mid-season development capabilities are just yet, because they still haven't got the full factory yet. And obviously, this is the first time we've actually seen Aston Martin running towards the front of the grid.
Yeah.
Especially since becoming Aston Martin. So.
Yeah. Maybe I think I would say personally they look on track for P2.
Yeah.
I think they've got the strongest overall driver lineup on the grid.
Yeah.
That might upset a few people, but
especially Red Bull fans. I
think on average.
Especially more on a consistency basis, because you got both drivers who are able to be consistent.
Well, we know Lewis Hamilton's incredibly consistent.
And George Russell, he's been a bit up and down. I'd say a little bit in the season so far, but it's definitely a lot less up and down than Sergio Perez. Because obviously, if you put a street circuit, you go on the street circuit, Red Bull is comfortably by far and ahead the best driver lineup.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, unless it's Monaco.
Yeah, unless it's Monaco. But it's weird. Well, I mean, what a fourth. I mean, I said it last day. What a fourth from Grace. You go from winner to absolute spinner. But.
And rear ender and all the other collisions. But yeah, so I think Mercedes. Strongest lineup for me on the grid. People might disagree with that, but out of the three teams that are going for P2, no, just it's on the entire grid, to be honest. Yeah, but I don't think it should be argued that out of the three teams that are going for P2 in the Constructors' Championship, they have the strongest lineup and the most consistent team possibilities, because. It's the consistency, in my opinion, that does it. Yeah, Lewis, 7-time world champion. Because if you compare the other two, obviously Fernando Alonso arguably has been, I would say Fernando has been the second most consistent driver of the thing. Yeah, but then they've got it's a fact they've got Lance Stroll, who hasn't been the most consistent. When has he ever been consistent? He hasn't been consistent at all throughout his entire. This is. He was, 7th season now? I think 2017. 2017 was his first year, so that is his 7th season now. Yeah, it is. 7 season syndrome. Yeah. Is that a thing? I don't know. Well, if you follow, I mean, if he's gonna have a cuss at Jurgen Klopp, then yes, but. But so, and then Ferrari, they're just sort of, it's not looking great for them. Do you think that either driver can finish P2 in the Drivers' Championship? If Mercedes continue to develop the car, they've bought in... That's the thing. They bought in a completely new philosophy for them, obviously not for everyone else. They've scrapped zero side pods. It's looking like it's gone very well for a base so far. If they can keep doing that, if they can build... Everyone else is they're at the base and they've built up X amount. Red Bull, obviously the highest, maybe less so for Ferrari and Aston Martin. Mercedes are quite low down in their base. They've got time to unlock with their new concept. If they can unlock that, they can get maybe 3-4 tenths of a lap faster. And with Sergio Perez being so maybe inconsistent, at least at the moment, do you think either driver could perhaps challenge for P2 in the constructors' title or in the drivers' title? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't see why not, because I mean, actually, let me have a quick look at the standings. So Perez now Perez has got 117 points, who's 18 points ahead of Fernando at 899. Lewis Hamilton's 87, so he is currently 30 points behind Perez. But We are only on race 7.
Yeah, we've still got 15 races.
15 races to go.
I don't see. Maybe not Russell, because I think he's 52 points behind now. So that is quite a gulf to go to. But
or do you think maybe not Russell, but do you think Lewis can challenge for it? I mean,
well, I don't see why not. If Mercedes do sort of improve their car in the typical Mercedes way that we know that they can do, especially in the late 2010s.
Only non-Red Bull driver with two top 2 finishes. That's my goat. No.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely third place for sure will be up for grabs. There is.
Third place.
That is going to be a good battle between Lewis and Fernando. Second place, there is definitely a good chance, but I think Perez will run away with it.
Maybe.
By the mid-season break, I think Perez should be sort of up there towards the top.
I think it really just depends on when the Mercedes develop their car.
And obviously Checo's performance.
But, I mean, do you see... Like, we looked to last season where Red Bull were by far the most dominant team. We got to Brazil and Mercedes were the quickest. Do you see something like that potentially happening again this season? Yeah,
I don't see why not. I mean, we got to 2019 where, Mercedes dominated the first 10, 11 races of the season.
Well, wasn't it? It was all of like 2017, 18 and 19 where it was Mercedes and Ferrari, then the title race that happened, and then Red Bull suddenly woke up and were like, oh my God, we can make a good car.
Yeah.
And then they did really well at the final few races.
2019 was the big one, because I think Mercedes won practically every race in the first half of the season, and you come to Spa, all of a sudden Ferrari winning 3 races. I mean, we know why they won 3 races in a row.
We would never accuse them of having an illegal engine.
Definitely not. But if you think about it, then obviously Max Verstappen comes alive and he absolutely dominates. He wins in Brazil and stuff like that as well. So I don't see. I seriously don't see why not. But yeah, it's. I mean, we just have to see how the season goes, really. Cause
it's not going to be competitive for P1.
No,
at the moment.
I think that's
unless Max decides to go on holiday for 3 races, and then it might be competitive.
I bet Rick will just make Max Verstappen go on the sidelines for 4 or 5 races.
He likes racing too much.
Yeah,
that man lives for
He literally does live for racing. He's literally going home and then playing on the sim.
I read somewhere, this might be wrong because it was a tweet, but he's like the 3rd best sim racer in the world.
Yeah.
Like, he's the 3rd best sim racer in the world and the 1st best actual racer in the world.
Yeah. And at one point, I mean, to be fair, the only thing he would do is play FIFA as well, because I think it was like 2019, he was ranked 82nd best FIFA player in the entire world.
The man is just far too talented for his own good.
We talk about Erling Haaland being a machine. Look, we got freaking Max Verstappen.
I know.
He's a genuine machine.
Yeah, right. Well, Mercedes, they're climbing back up. I think the decision to get rid of or add side pods, which is not a sentence I'd ever thought I'd say. The decision to add side pods was a good one. And it's finally, the advantages are locked in for years.
Yes, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I never thought, especially 3 years ago, I never thought I'll say this, but I'm actually hoping Mercedes do pick up the pace, so at least we have some competition by 24, 25.
Hopefully.
Because Aston Martin, realistically, I doubt they would.
Well, let's move. I mean, we can move on to Aston Martin now.
Yeah, we might as well. But I think it's just. I think this is an off weekend for them.
It's their worst weekend of the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Alonso had damage.
He did have damage.
What happened? I'm going to be honest, didn't watch Q1.
I think...
all of it.
I mean, in qualifying, he did actually go in the gravel for a bit. And I think that damaged some of his floor, I believe. I can't remember, because I didn't watch quali live. For the same reason I was watching the FA Cup then. But yeah, I think he got some floor damage, and then basically some stuff happened, and then so I think that just impeded his qualifying, and then
then there's not much he can do during the race.
Because I think that Aston Martin is really good at keeping pace, but I don't think it's very good at attacking. Because I think there is not a lot of straight line speed in that Aston Martin.
Yeah, and especially with how long Perez was overtaking Alonso by the exit of the pit lane, and there's about half a straight left to go.
Yeah, because Aston Martin is quite draggy in the straight line, so I think that's the key. That's definitely their key weakness this season.
I mean, they're due one off weekend. They've done.
Yeah,
or at least
everyone has an off weekend except Red Bull, so you know.
Yeah, even Mercedes at their peaks. Singapore was always the off week, always tended to be the off weekend.
And then Mexico as well, but that's just Red Bull.
Mexico. But yeah, Alonso not scoring 15 points in a weekend for the first time.
I mean, it is still points finish, still a respectable 7th.
That is.
Lance Stroll finally having a good weekend as well for a bit, actually beating Fernando, out qualifying him in the race and out racing him.
Wow.
Well, when we say out racing, we know. I think Alonso would.
Alonso could have overtaken him.
But that guy is literally on cloud 9 right now.
I think I'd be interested. Do you reckon he's like? He recognizes. I think it's the fact he recognizes they can't win.
Yeah.
And they must be cooking something in that factory, because he must be like looking. If they can do this in his second year, what are they going to do next year?
Yeah.
It's going to be really...
I mean, to be fair, the development arc in 22 was ridiculous as well.
It's going to be really... This is going to age so poorly when they build, like, the 7th fastest car next season.
I know, because you go to the beginning of 2022, they literally like made no progress at all compared to 21.
They were, like, the 9th fastest car.
They're like the 9th fastest car. Like, I mean, obviously, Bahrain and McLaren were the slowest, but then they come 2 races later, Lando's on the podium. No, not in 22. And...
Well, there was 22, they were like 9th and then finished like 5th and some races 4th fastest car.
Yeah.
Now they're consistently the 3rd to 2nd to 4th-ish.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good performance. I mean, we've discussed a bit like earlier on about the team dynamic just seems nice. The drivers seem quite chill.
Yeah.
Even Lance Stroll is cracking jokes, which I don't think I'd ever thought I'd see. And that's so serious. And now he's just like...
Yeah, it's actually a very good positive vibe of that team, finally.
Yeah. And, like, they're probably going to finish 3rd in the Constructors' Championship.
At least 3rd. I'm not saying Ferrari coming anytime soon to 4th.
And I think Mercedes now have somewhat nailed on... If they can continue to develop, I think they've somewhat nailed on 2nd place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't think there's much else. Right, it's time for the weekly segment of What Did Ferrari Do Wrong? Wrong.
Yeah.
Damn it, I messed up. Wrong. What did Ferrari do wrong?
Well...
Have you actually... Is this list ongoing?
I haven't made my list for this weekend, actually.
Oh,
I've forgotten to do it.
One job. You need to make the Ferrari mistake list. Well, we'll make it together.
Yeah.
So, LeClerc, quali.
P19.
Either car issue, skill issue. It has to be car issue.
I think
know
it's
we discussed it.
I think it's a car.
It has to be car issue.
Yeah, sorry. It has to be a car issue.
It was every time he went through that corner, he was just fighting understeer.
100%. It was just... I think there's an issue with the car, bad setup, and then just an off day.
Yeah.
I think it's just a combination of those three. And then...
Didn't Ferrari, like, completely blank him on what tyres he should have gone onto, or he wanted to go onto?
I think I remember seeing that in a typical Ferrari fashion, and then race.
I mean, Sainz had a fairly standard.
I think Sainz had a fairly scathe-free weekend, to be honest.
Maybe we're gonna have to stop slandering him. He's done a race without entering a gravel trap. We're gonna have to stop slandering him for gravel traps until he does it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good home race for him.
That's how it will work. You get 3 races of slander, and then we won't do it. We won't do it until... I feel like that's just how F1 Twitter works.
Yeah, that is how F1 Twitter works.
You get 3 races. You got to put in good performances, and then people forget. But as soon as you do one bad thing,
it sticks with you for the rest of eternity.
But Leclerc, again, has struggled. Again, has not done brilliantly. Again, we don't know if it's Ferrari's fault, but again, having that miscommunication or that disagreement with Ferrari. Does Leclerc... His contract's coming up for renewal, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Does he re-sign? If you... Maybe... Well, two questions. If you were Charles Leclerc, would you resign? And as a non-Charles Leclerc human being, what do you think he'll do?
I'll start with the non. Oh no, I wouldn't. But realistically, where would he go?
That is the thing.
Because Mercedes has got Hamilton and Russell.
Hamilton's...
And if Hamilton retires, Lando Norris is likely to go.
Not even that. I just don't think Lewis is going to retire.
He's not going to retire anytime soon.
He's got... How old? He's 38 now. Mm-hmm. But then Fernando's still pottering along for another few years, and he'll be like 43 when he retires.
Yeah.
Lewis, I can see Lewis, especially, I think, now, and if over the next few races, their car continues to, like, improve and, like, the side pods do actually work and make it better, then I think that Lewis will want to stay because he will see 2024, 2025 as that opportunity to get that one more world title. Yeah. I don't think it will consume him forever.
Yeah.
But I think he still wants that 8th world title. I think if he got it, he'd retire on the spot.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. There was 100% not what do you call it? Disagree with that at all. But yeah, it's because obviously Red Bull are not going to will not sign Leclerc because obviously they got Verstappen at the helm, and then whoever will be the second driver, we don't know, but it definitely won't be Leclerc. Then Aston Martin, how long... the thing is with the Aston Martin, how long will Alonso realistically go on for? A couple of seasons max.
I do think he'll want to try 26.
He would definitely want to go as far as to 26 as possible, but...
I think he'll retire when he just can't perform anymore. And he can still perform.
Yes, another football reference. It'll be like Zlatan. Yeah. But
I don't see why it won't be like Zlatan. He's still at a high level. He's put it on the podium at 5 of the 7 races.
No, his form has been immaculate. Just because the fact that he finished 7th is a bit of a disappointment for Alonso, which...
Well, the only driver that's been on the podium more than him is Max. So, he's outperforming, podium-wise, the other Red Bull, which is by far and away quicker than what he's got. He is still performing at a high level, so... Alonso's not going to leave. Stroll's the son of the team owner, so he will never leave.
But then if Aston Martin go, probably I'll say the more likely option that they poach Lando Norris. Yeah. Because Lando Norris is going to leave McLaren at the end of this contract at this rate anyway. Because McLaren have done nothing but take steps backwards in the last 2 years.
Norris goes to Ferrari?
Would he really want to go to Ferrari is the question?
It's a top team. That is the thing. Well... It's
a top team that hasn't won a championship since 2008 for good reason.
2008?
That's the last
constructors, of course.
They won the constructors.
I was like, we're not getting into this whole Massa trying to
No. Well, no. Oh, of course, last drivers was 2007. And there's good reason for that now.
Well, that is the thing. Just there is nowhere to go. Red Bull would not have Leclerc any day of the year.
Oh yeah,
because that's not what their team is. Their team is, and has always been. We've got one driver.
Yeah,
it was Vettel from 2009 to 2013. They thought 2014 might be the same, but. As soon as Ricciardo started to perform, Vettel left.
Yeah.
Then, arguably, you could say their worst period was that 2015 to 2018-ish period where they did have 2 drivers that were both competing, and they weren't great. They were good, but they weren't brilliant, and that combined with obviously the Renault engine. Wanting to blow up after every 5 minutes. 2018
especially was more the Renault engine, just deciding it didn't want to work anymore.
But then they went to Verstappen, and that's just Verstappen, and that's brought success for the last few years.
Yeah.
Why would they want to upset that and upset their star driver?
No, and to be brutally honest, you can see it. I think Red Bull can't even control Verstappen now. I don't think they can't. Verstappen's just uncontrollable now.
I love his dynamic with his race engineer GP. He just doesn't. I love to talk to him and be like, what is Max Verstappen really like to manage over a race?
Yeah, because Spain was actually a brilliant idea. It was a prime example when because he got the black and white flag for track limits, and then GP is like, you're 18 seconds ahead. Just don't
calm down.
Just drive to the end of the race. Just don't do anything. And then next thing you know, Max was like, oh, what's Checo's fastest lap? And then like,
it was like, you can't do it, and then
it's like you might not be able to do it because it was like 7/10 faster, and he had DRS at that point as well. And Max was like, no, and Max still went for it anyway.
I'd if I was in that situation, I would have gone for it because that's a Grand Slam. They're quite cool. Like, they don't happen often.
Yeah, because I get why Red Bull, I get why GP said, and I get why Max wanted to do it.
Where's the next race? Is it Austria?
Canada.
Oh, of course. Honestly, COVID brained. I forget we race in Canada anymore.
Yeah. Yes, we have Canada.
So
second Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, maybe going back to Ferrari because we've gone on a fat tangent. I mean, so LeClerc he's got to stay because there's nowhere else to go.
For now, there is, yeah.
Goes
we do see visible signs of depression.
Just goes, he's got grey hairs.
Yeah.
Goes to IndyCar.
You could just see the F1 interest each year, just the more gradually sad Leclerc's looking. I mean, it's just heartbreaking, but...
Yeah, there's not much he can do.
No.
And yeah, they just had a fairly... I guess Sainz had a solid race. Like, 5th was probably the best result he could hope for.
Yeah.
Leclerc just clearly
there was no mess up in the pit stops.
Yeah.
For once.
This is what we mean when we say this race is very NPC.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to do one more team and then we can take a quick break?
Could do.
McLaren.
Yeah, they
qualified well, did poorly.
Qualified well and absolutely bottled it.
Where do you think Norris would have come had he not, let's say he'd maintained 3rd?
8th or 9th.
Yeah.
8th or 9th. I think Norris couldn't. Look at Norris's.
I think he would have come 8th. Was Alonso 7th?
Yes.
Yeah, he would have come 8th, I think.
Yeah. I think they're just nowhere with pace.
Yeah.
They're just nowhere. I think that's what it is. It's just there's not much to really say. They just don't have the pace at all. So,
there really isn't much to say. Guan Yu Zhou, good performance. Who was your driver of the day? There we go.
Lewis.
Yeah.
I'll probably give it to Lewis, but
it's hard. It's hard not to give it to Max because I just don't
want to give it to Max because just.
That's the thing. I just feel like
it is Max.
A Grand Slam has to earn you driver of the day because even if you're in a dominant car, that's not an easy thing to do.
I think. I would say not as difficult in this.
I would say almost Zhou, because where did Zhou start?
13th.
Yeah, he's gone from 13th to 9th. Admittedly, there's penalties involved with that. But he's gone from 13th to 9th in an Alfa Romeo, which isn't the greatest car in the world. At the moment, you'd have to say Williams is probably the worst.
Alfa's probably 9th, to be honest.
Then, yeah, Alfa's 9th.
Alfa and Haas are very close.
I'd say AlphaTauri and Haas are close. Then McLaren are just a bit above them.
And McLaren are definitely
Alpine are very solid 5th. And then we get into Ferrari, Mercedes... and Aston Martin and then Red Bull, obviously.
Yeah, and then there's Red Bull
But that's why I'd say Zhou's performance was really good.
Yeah.
Has that car it must have good straight line speed.
Probably. To be honest, I'm not really kept tabs on the Alfa Romeo.
Again, the most NPC team. I could see Bottas retiring if he continues like this.
Yeah.
He's really not done that well.
Yeah. I think that's about it, really.
Yeah?
To be honest, is there really any other team to talk about?
No, I think we've covered.
I think, to be fair,
the rain didn't rain. Russell's sweat.
Yeah, that is probably the highlight from the weekend.
Well, there was a thing. It was he said it was at turn 5, and I thought instantly, it's turn 5 not in the it's in the circuit. So how would it have hit turn 5 and not turn 2 and 3, or 1, or any of the other ones first?
No. I'm just having a look.
Turn 5 is the
So you
that the
obviously,
one-
because obviously you got the right, left, and then you got that sort of really
That's
long
1,
right hand.
2, then 3,
And then
4's where
four's that
Mercedes had a crash
where they
in
crashed,
2016.
and then the 5 is that sort of
Yeah,
sharper turn
so
off
5
the
is like inside the circuit. So it was a bit odd, and then it was like, oh, it's just sweat.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
Yeah.
It was a shame it didn't rain. It always looked like it was about to, and then never really did.
Yeah. But
Is what it is. We can't really look at the Austrian weather forecast. It's a bit far.
you mean
ahead.
Canadian?
Damn it.
Canadian, we're in
No,
Montreal, not.
I forget about
No.
Canada.
Yeah, we're not in the Steering Mountains just yet.
I forget.
yeah.
I've honestly, COVID,
Yeah.
and I didn't really
Yeah.
pay much attention to the
Yeah.
Canadian Grand Prix last year. Right, rating
don't-
out of 10.
Yeah.
Unless you got something else.
5.
5.
It's.
6.
I'm just giving 5 because
I think it was too easy to overtake. I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
I hope next year. I think the tyres they brought were fine. I think the tyre strategies for once were interesting.
Yeah.
They weren't just one stops.
Yeah, the hards actually did fall off eventually.
Yeah. I think the tyres they brought were the they were the hard. No, they weren't the hardest. 'Cause
They were C1 to 3.
They've got the C0 these days.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, they were the first step hardest.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone made any mistakes in this race.
No.
And I think that's what made it like sort of standard.
Yeah. The drivers are becoming too good now.
They are. They're all like there were 0 yellow flags, 1 penalty that really
Yeah.
ultimately shouldn't have been a penalty.
Yeah.
No retirement for the second time in 3
Yeah.
races. The drivers are too good.
And the cars are too reliable.
They are.
We need engine blow-ups.
Back in my day, the engines.
Renault,
failed.
why is the Renault engine not doing what it's best at, which
Like
is blowing up?
Was it the Mechachrome engines in Formula 2? They
Well,
just explode every other race.
That is true, yes. But then, like, why can't the Renault just do what they're best, which is just explode every other race?
Yeah, but that would only affect one team these days.
I know. Because it would have, back then, would have affected Red Bull and Renault. But
Oh, if only. Right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll discuss any F1 news that may have taken place in the last week. Welcome back to the final segment of the Warwick F1 show for the week. And as ever, we are moving on to looking at Canada. As I've mentioned multiple times, the next race is not Austria, it's a Canada. Canada. And so it came back onto the calendar for the first time since 2019, last season. Fairly decent race. Carlos Sainz pressuring Verstappen throughout the latter stages, but Verstappen taking that victory. I have a feeling one of those aspects might be true, but the other one may not happen this year.
yeah, I think maybe. I don't know if Verstappen could win this one. Maybe no, he's going to win it, and he's going to absolutely dominate everybody once again. It's just.
What are your thoughts on Canada?
I mean, I love playing on the F1 game.
Yeah, because it's easy.
Yes.
It's like 4 straight lines
It
and like
is,
a chicane.
Yeah, I know.
It's great.
And for some reason, the computers are absolutely rubbish taking the line of the wall of the champions. Just, I mean, I never get track limits, but for some reason, I would just gain like 6/10 on the straight on the computer.
Yeah. But like,
And I'm talking about about 95 or 100 difficulty.
that's not bad to be fair. For me, it's always been Canada's never really been one of like cared about that much.
It's never been one of the greatest tracks. It is a nice. I like the track, but
It's pretty forgettable.
yeah, it's one of those tracks that if it leaves,
Like
no one's
it's
gonna care.
forgettable. It has arguably had the best F1 race of all time.
It's got one of
in 2011.
It's definitely a candidate.
Tyres are normally a big factor, so hopefully that could.
Yeah, even
Play a
though
role.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was no tyre dig
But yeah,
with this year's tyres.
Yeah, 2019 there was the controversial Vettel Hamilton.
Yeah, even though looking back at it, I think you can see why the penalty was given because it was quite a dangerous push.
Yeah, I personally wasn't. Obviously,
No, obviously you wouldn't.
no, obviously, but I think if Hamilton had done that to Vettel, I think it was one of those things where you're like, it objectively maybe should be a penalty, but as an ex-fan, I don't think it is Bit like Manchester United
Yeah.
with our penalty.
Yeah.
Objectively, no, probably not.
I mean, to be honest, with that result, I did not care.
Yeah. Well, so 2019 there was the Vettel. 2018, you could put a gun to my head and I can't tell you anything about that race. What happened in 2018?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the race.
No, I have no clue.
I don't remember.
Did we even go to Canada in 2018? We must have.
Yeah, no, I did. I remember playing on the F1 18 game for sure.
I want to say it was probably I genuinely cannot for the life of me. This is like Canada's defeated me. I can't think of who might have won. Was it Hamilton? Vettel? Yeah, it was.
Lewis Hamilton was 5th in that race.
No, I can't even remember why.
Yeah, the running order in 2018 was Vettel, Bottas, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Hamilton, and then Raikkonen.
No clue.
Yeah, and I know. Yeah, and then because in that because Vettel took the lead in the championship that race for the things as well. I'm definitely not looking at the Wikipedia page right now.
Oh no, absolutely not. No, but yeah, Canada's not. It's a good track, but it's one of those where if it fell off the calendar permanently, I wouldn't be that unhappy about it.
Yeah, well, something that's inevitable. Apparently, at turn 5, once the race started, Brendan Hartley and Stroll collided.
Oh, it was that race. Yeah. Oh, when Brendan Hartley got squeezed and then did a wall ride.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember.
Fernando Alonso had an exhaust issue, so he retired. Well,
it's amazing how much you know about this without looking at the Wikipedia page.
Definitely not.
Right, so what we've established is Canada not the most entertaining of tracks. No. Also very bad for air miles.
Yes. Very, very bad. Because obviously, unfortunately.
Because Montreal's quite far north, so they have to do it in summer.
And that's when
what was it? Will was saying when we made the perfect calendar.
Yeah.
He wanted to put it in April, and didn't I Google the average temperature? It was like 9 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not one. Have they signed a new contract recently?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it could be one that disappears.
I can see it not lasting long, but I don't know.
But maybe this week will prove us wrong. Will give us a good race.
Yeah.
But we've got to go through our predictions for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yes.
And I have not done well, but you have.
That I was saved by the podium. So the score was going 30-27 to Will, so you had a 3-point lead.
3-point lead.
I'll compare the podiums as usual. So I had Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell.
6 points.
So that's a straight out 6 points there. You had Perez, Alonso, Hamilton. So that's 1 point. Because Perez was 4th, Alonso was 7th.
That was not a good podium.
No, it is a realistic prediction.
Yeah, I don't know. That's anything that anyone.
That's just bad luck. My 1 pointer was there will be Piastri in Q3. He was in Q3. My 2 pointer was Stroll finishes P18 or lower. He actually had a good race.
He did. P6.
And then my 3 pointer, there'll be at least 4 drivers who beach into the gravel traps in the race.
There were none, or they all finished during the race.
Yes, they all finished.
I think there was only one in the entire thing.
Yeah, I think it was
Logan Sargent.
Yeah, one person beached in the gravel the entire weekend, which is quite good.
The gravel was seemingly quite
slippery.
Not even slippery, just shallow.
Yeah, but
because a load of drivers managed to get out of it.
They didn't beach the cars.
De Vries had a massive spin in quali and then just got out of it fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that is 7 points for you.
7 points for me. And then
so I got 1 point for the
podium. For you. You had Sainz and Alonso finishing on top 8, which they did.
They did. 1 point for that.
You had most overtakes of the season so far.
We are unsure.
This is TBC.
TBC. Basically, we haven't looked it up. Well, no, we've looked it up. The data is inconclusive so far.
Yeah, the data isn't up yet. And then you said at least 10 drivers will have at least 3 pit stops.
Do any drivers have at least 3 pit stops? Did any drivers have 3?
I think Norris did.
Yeah.
And Norris did. I think Bottas did.
As I
Hulkenberg I think did.
look towards the Wikipedia page. It's not on the Wikipedia page.
Somebody else must have had at least 3 pit stops.
Hang on, BBC. I will have a quick look at this. But it wasn't 10 plus.
No, it definitely wasn't 10 drivers.
If it had rained, it might have been good. That prediction might have worked.
Because I know, especially the front runners, most of them had 2 pit stops.
Which it should be. It should be a 2 pit stop race.
Yeah, that's typical Spain.
There we go. So everyone had at least 2.
Yeah.
Except for Hulkenberg, Norris, and Magnussen. They had 3.
Okay, so I was almost right.
So I was 7.
I was 2 out of 3 on that.
I was 7 position numbers.
So yeah. So for the time being, you have 2 points.
Yeah.
From this week.
Could be 4.
Could be 4. Quite likely to be 4 if I'm being honest. So for now it's 34-32 to me. So I have a 2-point lead.
You've
so let's
closed the gap and potentially overtaken me.
Yeah, so for now I have overtaken you. But let's see how it goes.
We'll confirm the next time we do a race review whether I got those points.
Yeah.
But it's time for Canada's predictions.
Yeah.
The land of maple syrup. And Lance
So yeah, so I'll go first. You do want to go first? Your first place?
It's my go. Obviously, we are doing our new system where we draft the podium because otherwise we'd just be both putting Verstappen, Perez as 1, 2. Even though maybe Perez 2 might not even be the securest of predictions.
Yeah, and watch how there's a dominant Red Bull of 1, 2 next week. Week after, sorry.
There'll be 1 week where the Red Bull is just absolutely nowhere for some reason, and we've wasted a Verstappen prediction. Yeah. But no, I will go for Verstappen P1.
Fair. I'm going Hamilton P1 and Perez P2 because that's more likely to get me more points. Because Perez is more likely to be
good
P2.
Shout.
So that's why I'm going Hamilton the victory.
So you're going Hamilton potential podium?
Yes.
And if he gets a P1, I will be the happiest person on the planet.
I doubt it, but...
It doesn't even matter. If you get 3 points from it, I don't care. Hamilton P1. So, yep, you've gone for...
Hamilton, Perez, and then what's your 2 and 3?
My 2 and 3, Alonso and Russell.
Fair. And that means that with my 3rd place being Carlos Sainz Jr.
Fair.
So, yeah. What's your 1-pointer?
Stroll points.
Fair.
Canada prediction.
Yeah. Mine is gonna be a Verstappen pole position by at least 1/10.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
So definitely won't be tight. It's 2-pointer.
Merc get the 2nd most constructors points for the weekend.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Very specific.
Mine is quite an ambitious 2-pointer.
Okay.
But it's Lance Stroll crashing out the race. Or DNFing.
I don't think... Wait, they're different. Which one are you going for? I'd say both of them are 2-pointers if you want to go for the
I want to
easier
go...
one.
No, crash out.
All right.
Because of Stroll.
Well, when you regret this in 2 weeks because he has just broken down at the side of the road, you'll have to... I'm not giving you the points for it.
Yeah.
And I've gone for my 3-pointer, another Verstappen Grand Slam.
Mine is going to be a... I'm just throwing this out of the blue. A Haas double points finish.
Damn, that would be a wild race if Haas managed to get double points.
Yeah.
But no, so I'll run through my predictions quickly. So I've gone Verstappen, Alonso, Russell podium, Stroll points, Merc get the 2nd most constructors points for the weekend, and a Verstappen Grand Slam. And what have you gone for?
Hamilton, Perez... No. Yeah, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz. Oh, I thought I was reading yours for a second. Verstappen will get pole by at least a 10th. Will be a 1-pointer, 2-pointer. Stroll crashes out the race. 3-pointer. Has double points finish. So I'm just going all out again. Why not?
Great. It's not a sprint race, is it?
You need to check this.
I'm now just questioning whether we've forgotten about that.
No, the next one's in the Großer Preis von Österreich, the Austrian Grand Prix.
Oh, the race after.
Yes, it'll be the Österreich Grand Prix, and then you got the Belgian, Qatar, Texas, and Sao Paulo.
Oh, we forgot about the groundhogs that always run around.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a bit morbid predicting the death of a groundhog. Though.
No, I'm banning that.
Predicting hopefully the safe passage of all groundhogs across the racetrack.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I would allow that. I don't want any predictions for any death. I don't want you.
Yeah.
Casting an evil shadow.
Did you watch the IndyCar quickly before we go?
I completely forgot about IndyCar.
It was fairly decent. Alex Palou definitely deserved to win.
Fair enough.
About 17 restarts in the final 10 laps.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, Palou definitely deserved to win.
Yeah, I completely forgot IndyCar was on this weekend, so I haven't seen it.
Grosjean binned it in the wall.
Oh, what does that sound familiar?
I know. But no, we're done. Anything else you want to add?
No. I'm just hoping there's some interesting stuff happening for us to talk about in the next race review.
Well, we'll see. We'll be back next week to do because it's a break, isn't it?
Yes,
do a random
race weekend, so
topic.
it should be me on the hosting chair.
Yep, we'll be doing a random topic.
For the final term this term, and for first time in the world, actually.
Yeah.
So.
And then in 2 weeks we'll be back, obviously talking about the Canadian Grand Prix.